What is up, Ravens flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. Chance and Glenn are the best in the business. They're killing it right now. They love talking Raven talk. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin. And I think today we actually have some positive news to deliver about the Baltimore Ravens. Relatively, in a certain sense, speculative, because we don't have all the details, but we do have half of the picture. So we're going to get right into it. But before we talk about that positive news for the Baltimore Ravens, I just want to, if you guys are new to the show, new to the channel, want to introduce you and welcome you in and say, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you can stay up to date with all your Ravens news. But also want to shout out our sponsor in today's show, LinkedIn Jobs. It is the largest social network for those seeking jobs and those seeking to hire people. So if you are looking to hire people, go to linkedinjobs.com and simply use the promo code 410 to get a free job posting that is fully customizable and sent out to the, like I said, the largest network of folks looking to be hired. Go do that today using the promo code 410 for free on us. Shout out to LinkedIn. But Glenn, I briefly want to say the news and then shoot it over to you. But the news is this, that Kenji Behar, that's how you say it, right? Behar?
I believe.
Has been cut. Now, Kenji was the backup quarterback this past week. He's been released by the Baltimore Ravens. And that, to me, means that something is on the horizon, right? Yeah. Because now we only have Josh Johnson right now, who's our healthy quarterback. So what came to your mind when you saw that?
Yeah, the first thing is they must be expecting at least one of the two quarterbacks currently out, whether it's Tyler Huntley or Lamar Jackson, to be returning. And the reason that is because you can't really. First of all, you definitely can't play a game with only one healthy quarterback, and you really can't even hold a week's worth of practice with only one quarterback, because someone has to do the scout team reps. Somebody has to do, to present the first team defense with some different looks and some schematic things from the opposing offense to get that defense prepared for the week, the challenge ahead of them. So there has to be at least two quarterbacks for the practice week, and as well as two quarterbacks on game day. Because I seriously doubt the Ravens are going to go into a game with Josh Johnson, and then Sam Cook, who's the emergency quarterback, who's of course the punter. They're not going to go in with those two as their only quarterback. So it's clear that one of these two guys, they at least expect them to be back. Now, the big question is, which of these two quarterbacks do they expect to be back? Do they expect Tyler Huntley to be taken off the COVID list and be back and ready to go and hopefully not show any ill effects from the battle with COVID he's coming back from? Or do they expect Lamar Jackson, the MVP, to finally be back after the ankle or heel injury that he's dealing with, which I believe is it a bone bruise?
It's a bone bruise, yeah.
Which can be very unpredictable in how long they take to heal. So what's your initial reaction on as far as who do you think will be the first one back?
This is interesting. So I think that it is. So if practice is to start tomorrow, and we'll say, because one other note that you mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong here, the NFLPA and the NFL have just come to an agreement when it comes to players that have COVID that are asymptomatic, with them only having to be in isolation 5 days in comparison to 10 days.
Yes.
So the fifth day, he rose on the fifth day, right? Like, that's what it feels like. So let's see, if Tyler Huntley got popped, was it Christmas Eve that he got popped? I think it was Christmas Day, wasn't it?
I believe it was Christmas Day, dude.
Which is the day before the game. Day before the game. At least that's when the news came out. So we'll assume that he tested positive on Christmas Day. So then you have, Christmas was on Saturday. Yeah. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the Ravens are practicing. That would still only be 4 days. Even if it was the day before that, it was only 5 days, he would need to wait another day.
Yeah.
And like you said, even that Wednesday with just one quarterback and not having anyone to run scout team is not something the Ravens are going to do.
Right.
So they're confident that one of these two are coming back tomorrow, in my opinion. And I think that it is number 8. I think the chances are better that it's Lamar Jackson than that it is Tyler Huntley. What do you think about my? I mean, are you with me there? You following my logic? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with the timeline you're presenting unless the announcement about Tyler
It was
Huntley,
like delayed or something, right?
yeah, it was just delayed. That's the only thing I can think of. Because you're right. I mean, they have to have a scout team quarterback who is presenting the defense with the looks they're, hopefully going to be getting against the Rams. It's got to be someone, and it's not going to be Josh Johnson because he has to, play with the first team offense right now and
Right,
get those guys
presumably.
ready. Yeah,
Right.
so I tend to agree with you, but I'm starting to now. Wasn't the first missed practice for Tyler Huntley Christmas Eve, which is Friday? Is that correct?
Okay.
So
Not
if it really depends on how they qualify. Like if that's the first day of isolation, then you have the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th, which is today, is your 5 days of isolation. And then he could, in theory, return tomorrow. If it really just depends on when that clock started.
yeah.
If it started on Christmas Day or if it started on Christmas Eve. Now, of course, I'm hopeful that it's Lamar Jackson. That would be awesome.
And I think the chances are good that we do end up getting them both back this week.
Okay. And now is it just optimism talking or?
No, I think that we get them both back this week, but I think Huntley later. Lamar's just had more time off. Where Huntley, you're dealing with the logistics of staying away. Maybe he's not asymptomatic. We're not really sure. We're just, we're saying best case scenario, he's asymptomatic and come back. We don't know. Maybe he's, we don't know what his symptoms are. But I feel like Lamar, the Ravens will never admit this. And I don't know if I believe this 100%, but there's a possibility that they ran the numbers just like they did and said, look, if we want to get in the playoffs, we have to concede the AFC North. Maybe not in word, but certainly in strategy, and say, look, we're going to get in on the wild card, and that's where we're going to put our focus, right? And say we need to lock in for the Rams game, lock in for the Steelers game. Fine, the Bengals got us this year on the North, but all we need to do, like you say, Glenn, is get in the dance.
Yeah,
right.
And you never know.
So we'll take Lamar one more week, get him healthy. So I think I don't know how long it takes to heal a bone bruise. Like you said, it's very unpredictable. I think Lamar's back. He's tweeting a lot these days.
Has he? Okay.
Yeah, he seems positive. I don't know. I have a good feeling about tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. So let me ask you this then. If that's the case, so let's say it is, let's say for, just for sake of talking about it, let's say it's Tyler Huntley tomorrow. Let's say that clock did start on the 24th. He was asymptomatic and he's cleared the new 5-day protocol and he's back at practice tomorrow. What's your confidence level getting him and not Lamar in this upcoming Rams game? Do you think Tyler Huntley is enough to give the Ravens, or do you think we need Lamar Jackson to get over the hump that is the Rams?
Yeah, I think the only way we beat a high caliber team like the Los Angeles Rams, who, while they've clinched a playoff spot, if I'm not mistaken, they have a chance to
they still have to fight for they still are in a very big fight for
their division, right?
Exactly, because the Cardinals are 10-5 and the Rams are 11-4, so it's still very much up in the air.
And I think they still mathematically at least have a chance to clinch number one. I realize that Green Bay's ahead, but I think mathematically there's still a chance for that.
They're only a game ahead, and there's 2 games left. So
yeah, they're going to come out fighting, firing, and wanting to put the Ravens away early. I think the only way we slay the beast that is the LA Rams coming into town is with Lamar Jackson. Think of that defense. You got Jalen Ramsey, you got Aaron Donald, you got Von Miller, you got, I always forget, is it Floyd?
Michael Floyd, yeah.
Michael Floyd. Is it Michael?
Is it Malcolm or Michael? Floyd. It might be Leonard. A lot of Floyds. I think it is Leonard. Yeah, I think you're right. Leonard Floyd. Yep.
And so, they got, and I'm missing guys.
Talent.
I know they got some
Kenny Young in the middle.
Yeah. But certainly they have a talented defense, and obviously think about the pair on the outside with Matthew Stafford. You think of OBJ and
Cooper Kupp,
best wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the most historic seasons in a long time.
Would he be the first one, if he hits 2,000 yards, to hit 2,000 yards in a season for wide receivers?
No, if I remember correctly, Calvin Johnson did it.
Okay.
And did Randy Moss not do it when he put on those 1,000,000 touchdowns with Tom Brady?
The Patriots? Yeah, he probably did. But either way, an incredible feat. if
I mean,
he
one
does
of the
get there.
greatest wide receiver, and it's funny that Calvin did it, and now Cooper's doing it, and
With
the
Matt
common
Stafford.
denominator is Matt Stafford. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So either way, what I'm trying to say is that a very big hill to climb, very tall task to ask a guy, even like Tyler Huntley, that's played very well and took the Green Bay Packers down to the wire. I think we need Lamar Jackson to get over the hump.
Wow.
What about you?
Well, so obviously, I think Lamar Jackson gives us the best chance to win. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
If he's able to come back to practice tomorrow, I'm going to feel a whole lot better about the Ravens' chances. But let me just say this. Does Tyler Huntley or Lamar Jackson play defense?
Nah, neither.
Well, then I
That's a
think we're in
concern.
trouble. The bottom line is I don't think the offense is the reason the Ravens have been losing as of late. I mean, there's no doubt they've been shorthanded, and missing Lamar Jackson is a beast of itself to overcome, much like, all the injuries surrounding the quarterback on the offensive side. But, they had a chance to beat Green Bay. If they get that 2-point conversion, who knows what happens? They put up 30 points against Green Bay. They had, 350 yards of total offense against Green Bay. And then even against the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, Josh Johnson throws for over 300 yards, couple touchdowns, they go for over 330 yards. In the Browns game, again, over 389 yards of total offense. So I don't necessarily, while the offense could have performed better in spots, and I think if Lamar was healthy and playing in all those games, they would have been better. I don't necessarily think the offense is the reason why they've been losing these games lately. I think it's the absolute atrocious defense we've been seeing. I mean, Joey Burrow, he threw for over 500 yards last week against this Ravens defense. And there's some bright spots in that Chris Westry's coming back. It looks like Jimmy Smith might be able to give it a go. But then we lose Averett to a broken rib. And people can say, well, he's questionable. He ain't playing this weekend. There's no way. His rib was shattered in half. I think we're lucky if he's not gone the whole rest of the season, the regular season, that is. But I have zero chance that he's going to be playing this week. So I just and then of course announced today, I believe it was today, Tyus Bowser's now added to the COVID list. Another big time performer.
Justin Houston's still on.
Still on. So until I start seeing something, some sort of light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, I'm not sure it matters much what we do on the offensive side because, again, the offense have been putting up respectable numbers, and I think it's been good enough to get the job done. It's just defense has been so dreadful that it really doesn't matter what offense you put on the Ravens.
Yeah, that's a great point because – I can't deny what you're saying. The Ravens offense hasn't been the reason we've been losing these games. We can't stop a nosebleed. We're an absolute turnstile these days, defensively, especially in the secondary. I tell you what, I'll be real excited. It'll be a real shot in the arm for the Ravens psyche if Lamar Jackson is practicing this week. I tell you what. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see if we have enough to get it done.
But one of them's coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's good news either way. We got some wind in our sails. Hopefully we can do something with it. The Ravens put together a game plan. Look, I know there's a lot of folks, a lot of you out there that watch the show that are not fans of John Harbaugh. But this is what I will say about John. Life on the line. NFL coach in planning, like strategy-wise and game execution for one game. John Harbaugh is pretty dang good. Look at his record. So, you talk about the highest leverage moments, John Harbaugh usually wins. So it'll be really interesting to see how this game plays out. But let us know your thoughts on who you think's coming back. And with either of them coming back, right, is it enough? Even with Lamar Jackson, is it enough? Leave all your comments below, and we'll talk to you guys.